Hello and welcome. I know many of you, like me, are huge fans of beauty YouTuber Emily Noel. After watching one of her YouTube videos about 4 months ago, I read a comment that I think really expressed how many of us feel about watching her videos. This particular person said that watching one of Emily's videos is a wonderful way to start her day. In fact, it just makes her feel so much better. And I couldn't agree more with that particular reviewer. Another reason I think so many of us love and admire her so much is that we feel we can really trust her reviews and her recommendations. So I decided I wanted to create a video to pay tribute to Emily and thought it would be especially fun to try a full face of some of her favorite recommended drugstore products. But before we jump into trying out these products, I want to thank so many of you who have been so wonderful to support and encourage this channel. I really appreciate that so very much. And I also want to welcome those of you who might be stopping by for the very first time. My name is Elise, and my mission and passion as a makeup artist is helping those of us who are over 50 look and feel more confident by sharing makeup tips and techniques that work for us at this stage of our lives. So if this mission coincides with your interests, I hope you'll subscribe before you leave today. And by the way, from time to time, I also like to dip into my passion for fashion, books, and health and wellness as well. For those of you who may not be familiar with Emily, I've included a link to her channel in the description box below, which you can access by clicking on the word "more" under this video. I would describe Emily as a real shining light in the YouTube beauty community. She's positive, she's kind and upbeat, and a truly caring individual. In her About section of her YouTube channel, she says that she sees makeup as a creative outlet and a confidence booster. And she adds that it's about looking good, it's about feeling good, and passing those good feelings on to others. And Emily certainly does pass those good feelings on to the rest of us. Her genuine enthusiasm after doing 15 years of videos is absolutely contagious. And her love affair with blush always makes me smile. And I just personally want to say that when I want to start my day with a dose of good feelings, I do watch one of Emily's videos. And by the way, my husband really appreciates Emily as well. Emily is a graduate of Monmouth College in Illinois, and she loved being a cheerleader. And I don't think her love of cheerleading would come as a surprise to any of us because it would absolutely seem to be a perfect fit for her positive, upbeat personality. After graduating, she launched a career as a news anchor in Southern Illinois and started doing some makeup videos just on the side for fun. 15 years later, she's now a wife and a mother to 3 beautiful children, as well as a full-time beauty YouTuber. And now let's talk makeup, and specifically some drugstore makeup products that Emily particularly loves. Some are newer products and some are longtime Emily favorites, but the ones that I'll be highlighting today are all new to me. And I may also use just a few products that are longtime favorites of mine that I know Emily also loves. I've included links to all of the products that I'll be using today in the description box below. And as many of you know, there is no additional cost to you if you choose to use these links. And if you do use them, I thank you so much for supporting the mission of this channel. Now, I must say that there's a considerable age difference between me and Emily, so what works on her skin may not work on my far drier, more mature skin. So one of the things that we'll be exploring today is just how well these products work for those of us who are over 50. Now, I know Emily's favorite eyeshadow primer is from Milani, but since that's an invisible eyeshadow primer and I definitely need to cover discoloration in my eyelid area, I've already gone ahead and applied my Makeup by Mario's Prep and Set in Light. Let me show that to you. Although I wish this product was a little bit creamier, I do love the fact that I can customize the color because there are 2 different shades inside the compact, and it also comes with powder. Applying the powder over the cream eyeshadow primer makes the eyeshadow glide on even more easily, so I applied the cream eyeshadow first and then applied the powder over it. Now let's go ahead and deal with eyebrows. I'll be using Maybelline's Brow Fast Sculpt Eyebrow Gel Mascara in medium brown. It comes in 4 other colors plus a clear version. Now the color I'm using is a medium brown. Wow, this is really highly pigmented. This is amazing. I don't think I've ever, with any eyebrow product I've ever used, gotten this kind of coverage with just a few swipes of the wand. And I have to say, it even covered up my gray and white brow hair, which is really quite amazing. And then I'm just going to go over it with a clean spoolie just to get off any excess product and brush my brows up a bit. Wow, all I can say is this product is a wonderful surprise. It not only filled in my brows extremely well with just a few swipes, but it also covered my white and gray hairs. I am definitely impressed. Now let's go ahead and apply eyeshadow. Emily often talks about how much she likes Wet n Wild's 5-pan eyeshadows as well as their 10-pan shadows. Recently, she specifically recommended the 10-pan palette in Nude Awakening. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and use today. And I'll be applying that eyeshadow with 2 eyeshadow brushes that she also often recommends. The Profusion ES2 Firm Blending Brush and the ES6, which is a small pointed eye brush. I purchased Profusion's 3-piece Eye Essentials brush kit, which includes these 2 brushes plus the ES7 flat precise brush. And here are the Profusion brushes that are in that Essentials kit. And this is the Nude Awakening palette. Let me give you a better look at these colors. One thing I liked immediately about these brushes is the feel of the handles because they're very easy to grip and feel really secure in my hand. And I know that this is something many of you may also like about these brushes. I'm going to start off by blending a couple of these colors together for my crease area. I'm going to combine these 2 matte colors. I definitely like the soft feel of these brushes. And now I'm going in with just the deeper of those 2 shades and build up the crease a little bit. And with what I have left over on the brush, I like to bring it up just a little bit toward my brow. And now I'm taking the lightest of these shades and I'm just putting it across my lid area. I'm also putting just a little bit under the arch of my brow. I love using a lighter shade on my lid because it really opens up the eyes and makes them look bigger. And because my eyes are hooded, that really helps my eyes look a little bigger. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this red-brown color and put that in the outer edge of my crease and the outer part of my lids, just to give them a little bit more depth. Now, this is a pretty color. I really like this. Now I'm combining this brown red with the deeper brown above it. I'm really impressed with how easily these shadows apply. And then I'm taking a clean brush and I'm just blending. Then I'm taking just a little bit of that lightest color and brighten up the lid area. And then I want to brighten up the inner corner as well. Then I'm taking a little bit of this lightest color and going over the very edges of where I put the shadow that went up toward my brows, just to make it all blend together seamlessly. So I really love this look. It's a nice, soft, neutral look, but I could certainly darken it up for a special event or evening occasion. For eyeliner, I'm going to go ahead and use the darkest eyeshadow in this Wet n Wild Nude Awakening eyeshadow palette. And because there are only a very few mascaras I can use due to extremely sensitive eyes, I'm going to go ahead and use my Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara. And I'll apply both the eyeliner and the mascara off camera, so I'll be right back. All right, eyeliner and mascara applied, and let me show you what I used. I used this deepest shade for my eyeliner, and I applied it with this angled brush. And I also grabbed a little bit of this eggshell shimmer color and applied it in the middle of my lid. Now you can often use eyeshadow as eyeliner, but sometimes it doesn't stay on very long. And that can be true for high-end eyeshadows as well as more medium or lower priced eyeshadows. So it will be interesting to see how long this lasts as eyeliner. I also went ahead and used the two colors that I used in my crease on the outer 1/3 of my eyes. I've gone ahead and done my skin prep, and I'm going to use a product for my face primer that Emily recommends that can be used in a number of different ways. It's Maybelline's Instant Age Rewind Instant Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. That's a mouthful. And it comes in 8 different shades. It can be used as a primer, concealer, or a highlighter, and the product description says that it evens out the skin tone with some light coverage. These are billed as self-adjusting colors, and I'll be using the shade Fair Light Cool. And this is what that product looks like. It has a sponge tip applicator. So I'm using this as my primer, and I'm just going to put it all over. I think you can see it does have some color to it, but it's very light. And I'm going to blend this in with a brush. This will give some added glow to my foundation. At least that's what I'm hoping. But hopefully not too much. Next, for foundation, I'll be using Wet n Wild's Photo Focus Foundation. Now, I purchased both the matte version and the dewy formula of this foundation. Since matte formulas can sometimes make my dry skin look too dull or even rather mask-like, I'm going to go ahead and mix just a small amount of the matte formula with a larger amount of the dewy formula, and we'll see how that looks. And here's what these products look like. I always like to shake foundation up first. And these have a paddle applicator, so I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. This is the matte. Then I'm going to mix those together on the back of my hand and then just dot it on. Whoa, this looks pretty light. Hope it will work. Shade Rose. I got it in the shade Rose Ivory, which is usually a pretty good match for me. We'll see when we blend it in. First, I'm going to just push it in slightly with my brush. It has a scent to it. It's very light though, and I can't quite describe what it is. Okay, now we'll do a little bit of blending. Well, I must say, this is billed as medium coverage, and it really is a medium coverage. It's really nice. It feels really good on the skin. It's not drying at all, but I really did a thorough job of moisturizing my skin this morning. I like the way that looks. It gives a little bit of a dewy finish, but not too much. Right, I am really pretty happy with that. For concealer under my eyes, I'm going to use a long-time Emily recommended product, which I've also been using a very long time and love. It's e.l.f.'s Hydrating Camo Concealer. And I'll start off with the light peach under my eyes to color correct, and then pat on the fair beige over it. Just taking a little bit of the light peach and dotting it on. Then I like to use the warmth of my finger to just press it in. By the way, this is a Sigma brush I'm using, which I absolutely love. What's it called? It's called their 4D HD Precision Brush. And it has a really interesting shape to it that works really well for applying concealer under the eyes. And then I'm taking a little bit of the fair beige over it. And then again, just using the warmth of my finger to press it in. Color correcting makes such a difference. And you always use the color corrector first and then use whatever concealer color that you want over it. But just pat it in so you don't disturb what's underneath. To ensure that the concealer doesn't crease, I had planned on applying Rimmel's Stay Matte Powder in Creamy Natural under my eyes, which Emily has recently recommended. However, I had to order this product and unfortunately the shipment was delayed, so I'll be using my Maybelline Banana Powder to set my concealer. Just taking a very light amount and pressing it in. I usually use cream contour blush and highlighter, so I have to admit that I'm a little nervous about using powder products on my drier, mature skin. So I'm first going to press a very small amount of the Emily recommended Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team face powder in the lightest shades in my T-zone and then over the rest of my face. So I'll be applying powder contour, blush, and highlighter over a powder base. Applying powder products over powder products and cream products over cream products always creates a more flawless look. This is the Physicians Formula Dream Team palette, and here's what's included. There are 2 bronzers on the far left, 2 blushes in the middle, and then a highlighter on the far right top and the face powder below it. So I'm taking a little bit of the lightest shades of the face powder and I'm going to do my T-zone and just lightly the rest of my face. So I don't want to take away all of that dewy look of the foundation. But I also want the powder contour, the powder blush, and the highlighter to apply evenly and not look splotchy. So that's why I'm putting powder on top of powder. So I mix the 2 shades of contour and I'm just going to lightly apply it here. And then under my chin, just to make that area look a little bit more toned. And then across the top of my forehead. And this blends in really smoothly and evenly. I've always liked Physicians Formula products because of how buttery and soft and smooth they are. Just make sure that the edges are all smoothed out so there are no lines of demarcation. So I'm going back in with my powder brush to do that. And for blush, I'm going to be using this shade. It looks a lot like a shade called Saucy Mauve, which they sell separately, but it is not named in this palette. And I'm going to be using another brush that Emily recommended that I purchased several months ago. It's a Sephora 56 brush. I absolutely love this brush. It works great for blush and contour. And as a matter of fact, I'm thinking of purchasing a second one because I would like to be able to use a couple of these brushes during my normal makeup routine. I'm going to apply this right on the center of my cheekbone area. I like this color. Sort of mid to deeper color pink. And I'm going to bring it up slightly over the brows. Then I'm taking a little bit of this pink blush underneath, which has some lighter tones, and I'm going to blend that in around the edges of the deeper blush that I just used. Again, just so it looks a little bit more natural. This is the ultimate Murumuru butter collection that Physicians Formula makes that has an amazing number of products in it. And I know Emily did a video on this, and I actually did a video on this too. It is still, I think, available on the Physicians Formula website, and it is an incredible value. It opens up and you can see all the bronzers and the eyeshadows, and then it opens up even further to show blushes and highlight. And that Ultimate Kit actually has a highlighter in it that I adore that is not made separately. I really wish Physicians Formula would. It's a very light pink color and it's gorgeous. For highlighter, I'm using the shade Moon from L'Oreal's True Match Lumi Glow Nude Powder Palette, another mouthful. And just in case I need a little bit more glow from a cream product, I also have at the ready my L'Oreal Lumi Glotion in Fair. So this is the Lumi Glotion in their cream version. And this is the powder palette, which Emily has recommended. I'm going to use the very lightest shade in the upper left called Moon. And I'm going to be applying it with this Real Techniques brush, which I know Emily has also talked about. It's called a setting brush, but I really like to use it for highlighter. This really goes on easily. It's more like a cream to powder formula. I'm impressed with that product. All that's left are lips, and first I'll apply a little concealer around my lips to help prevent feathering, and then my lip liner. Now, I have loved Revlon's Color Stay Lip Liner for years, just as Emily has, but I'll be using my Can't Go Without L'Oreal Age Perfect Lip Liner because in addition to color, these lip liners also have ingredients that help prevent lipstick from migrating into fine lines. And that's definitely an issue for me, and I know it's an issue for many of you as well. So I'm starting off with concealer to help keep that lipstick from migrating into fine lines. Funniest thing, it is hard to put this on while you're talking. Now I know Emily loves Maybelline Superstay Lip Crayon, and I tried them and I love the fact that they are so convenient, so easy to use, and the colors were beautiful, but they actually ended up drying out my lips a little bit. And these are what those lip crayons look like. I think these colors are absolutely gorgeous. This color is called Treat Yourself, and this color is called Accept a Dare. But I'm going to go ahead and use a lipstick that I've never used before from Wet n Wild. It's their Silk Finish lipstick, and I'm going to blend together two different colors, Pink Ice and Just Garnet. And then I'll use the Color Icon lip gloss in the shade Libra, also from Wet n Wild. But first, let me swatch these colors for you. The top is Pink Ice and the bottom is Just Garnet. Really pretty colors. So this is what the Pink Ice looks like over my lip liner. I can see why they call these Silk Finish because they absolutely glide on. And then here is the gloss color. As I think you can see, it's pretty metallic and sparkly. Just dabbing a little bit on my fingers. So let me share with you my thoughts on these products. Now, of course, these are just first impressions, so I do really need to do more testing on each of these products, but here are my initial thoughts. I frankly really liked all of these products, but these were the real standouts for me. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation is really lovely. I love the look of it, especially mixed a little bit with the matte. Love the Sephora 56 brush, can't do without that. The Profusion Eye Essential brushes also worked very well, and also e.l.f. Camo Concealer is an all-time favorite. The Physicians Formula Butter Dream Team palette, I do like the highlighters, I did like the bronzer, I also like the blush, but I have to say that overall I do prefer the look of cream products on my more mature skin. But these are lovely colors and they do glide on easily. I also was really impressed with the Wet n Wild Silk Finish lipsticks, and they come in an amazing array of colors. The Maybelline Instant Age Rewind 4-in-1 I liked. I can't say I was bowled over by it, but I did really like the Wet n Wild Nude Awakening eyeshadow palette, and I also liked the L'Oreal True Match LumiGlow Nude Powder Highlighter. That powder highlighter really went on more like a cream than a powder, and that's why I really liked it so much. But for me, the top standout product of all of these was Maybelline's Brow Fast Sculpt Eyebrow Gel Mascara. It absolutely bowled me over, and it's really far better than any other drugstore or high-end product that I've tried for my brows. It's wonderfully pigmented, so it fills in the brows quickly, and it is easy to use, and it keeps the brows in place. The brush is just the right size, and this product also managed to cover my gray and white brow hairs. So this one product accomplishes all three of my brow needs at once. It fills in my brows, keeps them in place, and it also covers up the gray and white brow hairs. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if so, please hit that thumbs up like symbol, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'd love to know in the comments section below if any of these Emily recommended products are your favorites, and if you too are a fan of Emily. I hope to see you again next week, and in the meantime, I hope you stay well and have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.